I'm going to explain why it is actually harder for shorter females to lose weight, because it is. And 3 things that really help me and also have helped my clients make fat loss progress. Now, in the grand scheme of things, the reason why it is more difficult for a shorter female to lose weight is because they typically need to diet on lower calories compared to a average size woman. This is because there is literally less of you. So think of a woman that is 5'6" versus someone that is 5 foot. There's a big difference. The smaller you are, the less calories you typically require to maintain. So if you are a shorter female that is quite inactive as well, this is absolutely going to take into account the calories being slightly lower as well. Now, reasons as to why it is actually harder in application is 1, it is easier for you to go out of your deficit. 2, it's difficult to stay adherent to your calories. And the third one is scale fluctuations. Now, the reason why it's easier for a shorter female to get out of their deficit, I'll give you an example to explain it. Your calories could be 1300. That's your calorie deficit. That's within your range of what you need to consume in order to lose weight. If you're someone that does like to socialize, likes to go out for a few drinks, and that's a regular occurrence, this is where it's so much harder to stay within your deficit. Now, I'm not trying to rain on your parade by saying this, but most meals out start anywhere between 800 calories and up. So as an example, you could be putting yourself back around 1,000, 1,200 calories eating out, having a pizza. That's not even including having a few drinks. So that being said, if your calorie deficit's 1,300, you've pretty much consumed all your calories in one meal, which is that pizza. Whereas someone taller, their calorie deficit could be 1,900. They have way more wiggle room than you when it comes to eating out, when it comes to calories, because it won't affect them as much as it would affect you as a shorter female. The reason why it's difficult then to stay adherent to your calories is if your calories, as an example, is 1,300, we won't beat around the bush. Sticking to 1,300 calories for like 6 months, it's a challenge. But this is why you would need to choose your indulgences very, very carefully. And this is why being on the ball with your nutrition every other day of the week is going to be really helpful. Third one then was the scale fluctuations. Now, any woman in general that has a regular menstrual cycle, they will typically see weight fluctuations within the space of a whole month. You might see a weight spike the week before your period, you might even see one the week of your period, and for some females it can spike up quite high, others it doesn't spike up that much. Now, your scale weight will show many different things. You'll experience fluctuations because of your hormonal fluctuations, stress levels, a lack of sleep, if you had more salt than usual, if you had more carbohydrates than usual, if you drank more alcohol than usual. It is just water retention. So you could still actually be making progress but not seeing it fully reflected on the scales. This is why I think it's really important that you take multiple forms of progress, such as obviously your scale weight, but progress photos, measurements, using clothes, but also looking at the likes of your training, setting goals around them too. Because if you solely focus on the scales, it will wreck your brain. And I think it really does ruin your whole experience trying to achieve fat loss if, for example, it's your first time trying to achieve it. All that being said, here's what I suggest you do when it comes to going forward with your fat loss goal. The first one is adjust your expectations. Aim for 0.2 to 0.5 of a pound per week instead of looking at 1 pound per week of fat loss. The second one is, and it is honestly a game changer, is increase your activity levels. This doesn't mean you need to start doing a bunch of cardio, but I mean basic steps, walking that bit more. If you track your steps like I do, what can be really helpful is add on 2,000 steps to the amount that you're currently getting. Any of the shorter females that I've coached in the past, at a minimum you're looking at 10 to 12,000 steps, because the higher steps you can get in, the higher your calories to diet on technically can be. Because by getting in more steps, you can create a bit more of a deficit rather than having to pull your calories down, just increase your steps. The third one, and this is so important, I think honestly the game changer for me anyways, is like that I had really noticed, is what you eat really matters. Yes, you could eat a chocolate bar every single day on 1,300 calories, but the reality is if that chocolate bar is 200 calories, that could, for the size of what you're getting of 200 calories versus you having like a yogurt bowl for the same, you're not getting the best bang for your buck on calories. This is why it is so important that you actually volume up on the likes of fruit and veg in your diet. Potatoes are also a lifesaver for the volume that you get per calorie amount. And keeping your diet high in protein. I will go blue in the face saying this, but if your diet is low in protein, low in fiber, and you're eating shite on 1300 calories, you will feel like shite. So prioritize a source of protein, ideally some fiber and fats in every main meal. What that's going to help with is feeling fuller for longer, visually being able to eat a larger meal. That can help a lot of people without adding on loads of calories. That's from the fruit and the veg. And if you can, adding in a source of dietary fat. The reason I say this is because when you have dietary fats in meals, it actually slows the breakdown of your meal, like when it's in your stomach. So that also promotes feeling fuller for longer too. I feel like I went through quite a bit there. I'm aware this is my first YouTube video, so it is not going to be perfect. It was hard enough for myself to actually press record as well. So if you have enjoyed my first YouTube video, please feel free to subscribe. You can be one of my first ever subscribers, and the more I do the videos, the more I will have less of the cringe factor of myself, because I know I will be cringing when I am editing this. Feel free to give the video a like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.